Hey,
Yep. See you.
you see me? All right, virtual handshake. Your hands are
Roll in.
upside down. All right. Hey, good, good, good. All right, welcome, welcome. It's weird you're a little lower than me. Maybe your room scale floor is a little off balance. Anyway, we have our camera woman here, so she's going to be recording a cool video of us. And after the tour, we'll deliver that video to you, okay? So you can put it
Okay.
on your channels, etc. So let's start a little bit. I'm going to talk a little bit about the storyline here, and paint a picture a little bit. So we're making virtual universe. And
hmm
so the idea is to create a really humongous place with different, like hundreds of different planets, each with their own ecosystem. But obviously that's a lot of work. So we're starting by building the first planet, and that's the one that's behind you right here, which is Raetis. Raetis, which is the planet that's currently under construction. And that planet is like a very rocky, like arid canyon-style planet, as you can see here. So imagine like, huge Grand Canyon-style landscapes with massive waterfalls, and big open places and cave formations, all of that. So that's that
hmm
style of planet we're working on. And then here we see the first capital city of the planet. It's called Uruk, what we're building. And right now under construction is the first district of this massive city, which is District 1. You can see it right over there with the Genesis Towers in the middle.
So with the world like this, you be able to walk around like normally, or would it be like more like teleport east section?
It will never be teleportation, but you'll be walk like this. But there is a public transportation system right here. For example, this is
hmm
like, imagine this is like a subway station, right? So
Yeah.
if you're here on your hover disk and you need to be on the other side of the city, which is like 2 miles away, you just hop in here. It's almost like the Hyperloop, right? So you order a pod, you say, okay, I need to go to District 17, you type it in, the pod closes, and it takes you through the tube system, takes you to the your
Oh,
destination.
okay. Okay. Okay.
So District 1 is currently under construction, and we opened up so what we decided to do to celebrate that first district is we decided to give away 1,000 apartments in the first towers, Genesis Towers. So
hmm
those were already all sold out, and this is how the penthouses look. So imagine, so every player who signs up, you will start in your home base, which is your own place, your apartment or your penthouse or whatever that you end up with.
hmm
Um, and that will be your home base from where you can start all your adventures. So everybody will have their own specific location in the world,
hmm
and that will look like that. And then obviously, like, if you look at me here, these are just
Yeah.
placeholder avatars. They're very ugly, but this is what the basic avatars will look like when you start the game. And that's just, the very basic one that's free for everybody. But obviously you will be able to upgrade, and you will be able to have much, wide differentiation of different avatars. Okay, so I guess what we'll do now is we're just going to use these portals here. Yeah, I know we use portals now. It's just for the demo, so we can do it quickly, because it wouldn't be fun if we have to sit in the a little transportation pod for 20 minutes.
About the penthouse, couldn't figure out how to like reserve one. How do you reserve one?
Okay, so the everybody who signed up,
hmm
what we did is we had 1,000 apartments that we gave away to just anybody. You just had to sign up. That was the only condition, right?
Yeah.
But the penthouses, those were a special gift for people who participated in the pre-sale. So you can only claim a free penthouse if you participated in the pre-sale. And you can
Okay.
only, and unfortunately, can only participate in the pre-sale if you're not in one of the blacklisted countries. And there are only 2 blacklisted countries, or 3, sorry: USA, Canada, and China.
Oh, I'm in
Every,
the U.S. Oh.
yeah, I know, yeah. So it's very unfortunate, but it's just
Mm.
because the regulations are unclear around cryptocurrency in US. So we're waiting until the regulations become clear. Once they become
hmm
clear, we open it up for everybody. So
Oh,
it's
so
just
it's still
it's
have a
just
chance to get a penthouse.
well, probably not, because they're going
Oh
pretty
yeah.
fast. But there will
Yeah.
be, like I show you the big picture of the city. There are many other districts that will be coming in the future. So
Uh-huh.
you might miss out on District 1, but once we get to District 2 later
Two.
this year,
Okay.
then maybe USA will get its act together, and we can actually open it up to the USA people as well.
Okay. Okay.
So what we're going to do now, we're going to jump in a portal, and we're going to go to a place called Red Rock Canyon, and we're gonna like create a campfire together. So I'll just jump. Oh, wait, before we do that, let's teach you how to use the hover disk. So you already figured out walking. If you press any of the buttons, or I think it's survive, if you squeeze, you'll summon the, yep, and it works the same as walking, just way faster. All right, you got it. So let's zip around here a little bit. Okay, you're good with that? And then if you press the same button, you go back to walk mode.
Okay.
So if you just need, if you're inside your apartment and you just need to move around short spaces, you use the walking. But if you need to go to the end of the block or 2 blocks farther, you would use the hover disk.
Okay.
All right, I jump in here. Okay, so we're in a dark cave here, but luckily I have a torch here. So. You okay?
Oh yeah, mine's so low. Oh, there it is. I'm with you.
Okay. Wait, my cord is tangling up. Okay, you can grab this one here.
Oh, I'm a little loading.
Oh, you're still loading?
Yeah, it's loading like a little bit. There we go.
Okay, you can grab that one if you want. So, so we've been doing like virtual reality development for about 5 years now. And one thing that we noticed is that you need to keep your hand grabbing. Yeah, as soon as you open your hand, it drops again. Yeah, you got it.
Okay.
So one thing that we noticed is that the beauty of virtual reality is when you can achieve what we call presence. Is when you create the environment and you make sure that it's so immersive that your brain just accepts to say, hey, we're in this cave right now, right? So. Yeah. So that's very important if you want to create like an MMORPG like this, because you want to create a world that feels real. Else, what's the point? So in order to achieve that, what we try to do is design the entire world from the ground up to be as immersive as possible, and that comes down to a lot of detail. So a lot of sound detail, and a lot of the objects you would encounter in the world, you would be able to interact with it in a way that feels plausible. So it feels real and not like a staged movie set. All right, we don't need that anymore. Now let's jump on our hoverboards. And let's just go over the water here.
Oh, so you can go over the, okay.
Yep. You see that bird over there?
Yep.
Okay, so all the animals you see, none of them are scripted. They all have their little AI brain. They have eyes and ears. They can listen to each other. They can see us. They can react to. So, we're trying to create a living world here. That's pretty much the idea. Like this fish right here, if I would have food, we can feed him. And if he's hungry, he would eat it. So yeah, imagine, crafting your own fishing pole here, and you start to catch some fish, and then you can bring them back to the city and sell them on the market. All right, this is the part where we're going to. Like I said, we just placed these shortcuts here as these portals here as a shortcut. In the final game, if you want to go to the place that we're going, it would take you like an hour of exploration to even get there. Yeah. So the planet is really big. So there are different types of players. Like some players, they enjoy adventuring and like exploration more. Some players just want to build a virtual business and sell items to other players for Bitcoin or for Ethereum. So there is place for all of these different types of players. But you can imagine One thing, maybe you feel more like a hunter and you go out in the wilderness like we are here now. Oh, you look very choppy from my end.
Yeah, I'm still loading. It's almost still finished. There it is.
Okay. Oh.
All
right. Okay, we're good. Yeah. I saw you like zipping by here. So yeah, so imagine, for example, you're more like a hunter type character. You can go out of the city and then you place your traps, and the day later you come back and you see, aha, I captured a couple of rabbits. Then you can take those rabbits and you can bring them back to the city, and maybe you own a little pet store and you're selling those rabbits to other players.
So it's like real time, like trap now, it will be there when I come back.
Yes, exactly. So it's real time, a persistent world. If you do things to the world, then it will be there like that tomorrow. If you chop down that tree behind you, then tomorrow, or moving forward in time, that tree will always be chopped down.
Would it be like gone for that person or just
No, anybody, the entire universe. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you make a change to the universe, that's changed forever. So you see that rabbit over there?
Yep.
So. You know, he doesn't like when you get too close, so they will run away if you make too much noise. But if you would stand here and don't make too much noise, or even if you would hold food, it would be much more inclined to. Actually, we can try. Why don't we do that? There is some food over there we can use. Let's jump on our hover disks. All right. So here is some test food. So it's like just a little warm. But okay, look at this, right? So I'll throw it over there. And see whatever animals is hungry and sees it. Oh wow, that was okay. That bird got it.
Oh, thank God for.
Oh yeah, nobody's gonna go and get this. That's too close. Or you can throw it in the water. Hey, wow,
oh,
this guy is feeling adventurous. If you throw one behind you in the water, the fish should eat it too. Wow, hey. Man, it's a feeding frenzy here. Yeah, let's see if that works. Whoa, damn these birds.
How would you catch the birds?
We're thinking about like having a stasis trap. So like a system that will just trap them. So you need, as a trapper, you need to find the perfect spots where you have a better chance to capture, especially if it's like a rare animal. Those will only be in a certain ecological environment, so you need to find those, and then, but it's all up to the players to like try to find this through trial and error. But some spots will be, yielding a certain type of rabbit that is more rare than others. So you would just place your traps, and then a day later you come and check, or maybe you get a notification if your trap has sprung. But those traps would be like, they would just freeze the rabbit in time, so they wouldn't harm them. So you can just collect them back and then put them in your store, selling them to other players, for example.
Okay.
Here I'll show you something here. So here is a good example of the amount of detail that we can put into the world. If you look very close here, like really like stick your head in here, you'll see like flies humming around. And you can, and if they land, if you see a fly land, you can swap them away, or they would even go through their routine, like they would start cleaning their wings. Here's one. So even something as tiny as a fly has its, and each individual fly, by the way, this is not like a scripted bunch of flies. Each individual fly has its own little AI brain, and it sees the world around it, and it just, we're trying to make a world that feels alive, pretty much. That's the point. So watch out for that truck. Okay, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to change the time of day. So normally this would happen automatically, but here I'm going to, this is like a development shortcut. So I can make it sunrise, yeah, and I'll just, so as you notice, the audio landscape changed. And a lot of the birds already are starting to go to sleep, so there should be less birds flying around now. Not because we scripted them to go away, because they have eyes, so they saw that the light was changing. and they went to look for a spot to get to go to sleep. So it's all about the details, right? Like for example, here you see this stick here.
Yeah.
In other games, this would just be lying there just to make the world look more pretty. But everything you should be able to interact with. So even something like a stick.
Would I be able to grab it from you?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that could be an ingredient. Maybe you need a bunch of sticks like that to start a campfire.
Yeah.
Exactly. So let's do that actually. That's a good idea. You see that axe there in the tree right ahead of us?
Mm-hmm.
If you grab that, I'll grab one of these trunks here. So if you're just adventuring and you're exploring the surface of the planet, you will come across situations like this where you feel like you can do something. And I really enjoyed Is it working?
Yeah. There we go.
I really enjoyed the early days of computer games where we were playing a lot of adventure games like King's Quest and Space Quest.
Yep.
Where you had to just, there we go. That's it. We need this one split. Oh. Yeah. Harder. Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
So we're gonna throw a couple of them over there on the campfire. Whoa. Oh. Hey, wow, that was a good throw. Oh, that wasn't. So, we like to put players in a situation where they can like figure something out.
Mm-hmm.
If you put players in a situation like this, like if say you arrive here with your friend after you discover this area right here and you see the different elements, you should be able together to figure out, hey, let's try to make a campfire. So here is the fire starter, which is like a magnesium thingy.
Yeah.
So, you have to do the right thing. You have to take this part, just like the rail, rub it over that part to create sparks.
Oh, that's so cool.
Okay, and then, there we go. Okay, so what I'll do now is, I'm going to change time to midnight so we can enjoy our campfire. Okay, here we go. Now it's dark. Okay, I'm gonna get my chair here. Line up my real life chair with this one. There we go. Ah, yes. So, you have any questions so far?
I want to know, like, how would it work with, like, the shops and stuff? Like, is it, like, how do you get started? Do you have to, like, pay to get started, or is it just, you just go do it?
So the way it works is, in order to run a shop, you need to own a commercial plot, right? So for example, imagine like a shopping mall and all the different shops are empty, but players can purchase them. So you would be able to purchase them using view tokens.
Yeah.
But then once you have your store, then you can run your business and you can charge Bitcoin or Ethereum or view tokens for your products or your services. So once you can only buy a commercial plot with view tokens, but once you have the commercial plot, you can, and let's say you become a trapper and you're specialized in finding the rarest parrot in the planet, and people are coming to your store because they want buy those pets from you. Then you can decide what the price is, and you can decide what kind of currency you want for those pets. So you can decide, you know what, I only want to accept Ethereum, and this is how much it costs for this particular parrot. Then the way it would work is you would have a vending machine in your store with the parrot eggs, for example, on display with all the different prices, and then other users come into your store, they select that's the one I needed, and then on the back end, a smart contract will initiate a peer-to-peer transfer between the item and the cryptocurrency. So while you're sleeping, your store is making money for you.
Okay. What was another question I was asking you? What's the materials and stuff you need? Like, because if he's selling it, is it like, do you use the certain materials for certain things, or is it just a collector thing?
No, no. It's almost all the items that you will be able to collect can be crafted somehow. So
Oh, okay.
the way it works, imagine like futuristic 3D printers that take a certain set of ingredients and it prints out any item, right? So even for example this chair right here, I can make this myself, but it's gonna say you need 15 wood, 2 iron, and X amount of plant fiber or whatever. I'm just inventing something here, right? So here are my options, right? If I want this chair in my plot of land somewhere on the planet, then I can either go out into the wilderness and start scouring for these ingredients myself. You know, I know where to find wood, I know where to find iron, so I just go and collect them, come back, put them in my 3D printer, and okay, there is my chair. Or you say, what, that is too much work. I'm just going to the marketplace. I'm going to a person who has a whole collection of all these resources, and I'm going to buy it from that player.
Yeah, the chair itself, you could just buy the chair.
Or exactly. So there are all different ways in terms of the more time you put in yourself, you can do everything yourself. It's just going to cost you a lot of time and resources to do so. Or you can just say, and because of that, there will always be a market for resources. There will be a market for items, because it takes time to create those items. You're not gonna log into the game and we just give you a whole bunch of items for free. It's never gonna happen.
So everything is made in game. It's not made like with you know how VR chat, everything is made in Unity and stuff like that. It's not made in that. No, it's all made in the world.
And that's a great example. So here's the reason why I believe that is a wrong idea for this particular game is if you give too much freedom to the users, like, hey, import your own Unity model, then you end up with complete chaos. And VR chat is a great example of that.
Thank you. Yeah, that's exactly what you're talking about.
Then you have 200 Uganda knuckles running around. It's just complete chaos. So, and also it won't allow you to create a world that feels real, where you can actually have an epic storyline that drives the entire community and the entire universe forward, and gives it the tangible feeling. So instead of doing that is giving too much freedom to the users. We use the Minecraft model, where we build the building blocks, so the building blocks are under our control. But with the building blocks itself, you can still really, be creative and create your own corner, or give your own creativity to the world.
So, is it gonna be like, okay, let's say, so y'all gonna have like public servers? If it's gonna be like, could I rent my own server and create my own world, like my own community around it?
It's gonna be more like an advanced level of the World of Warcraft model, where you have one universe but distributed over a whole bunch of cloud servers. So, so everybody is in the same
world.
World. Yeah, exactly. But obviously, in order to make that happen, the world has to scale from small to humongous over time. So this is why we're still very early in the development phase. So we're only next week the signups for the closed beta go open. And we're only going to allow 200 people in the first phase until that feels comfortable. And then while we're growing the world, we'll slowly add more and more people to the world, so it becomes a gradual process. But the idea is to create our version of Ready Player One, pretty much.
Yeah, because the first time I seen this, I was thinking right away like Ready Player One, or Sword Art Online, like the first stage of it.
Yeah.
Where the market and everything on there.
Yeah, so this is not a normal game development project, because normally what we do is you would raise a whole bunch of money, you would have a 3-4 year development in stealth mode, and then you would announce the world, hey, here's our game, it's going to be released next year, let's do it. But this is not like that. This is more like a continuous development process that will always be ongoing, This world will be under development for the next 10 years easily. It has to. It's the only way to make this real. Because we're not building a game. We're not building a website. We are building a place. A complete world, Exactly. We're building a place, and we want to make it feel real. Like, for example, right now, do you feel like you're standing in your room, or do you feel like you're here with me in the canyon having a campfire?
In the canyon. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So this proves, and this is just generation 1 of this technology. So this proves that we have the technology to build the metaverse. We can do it. It's just a mind-bogglingly humongous undertaking, but we have the technology. It's not the technology that's limiting us. It's just you need to approach this the right way. You need to start small and just slowly over time build it out.
Yeah, because this is definitely like the first like thing I've ever seen like this. Like Orbis VR, I played that. That's like an MMO, but this one feels like more realistic than Orbis.
Yes. Okay. Here it's because they have a different angle. So they know, like, okay, if you want to have a world that has like 17 zones and has a lot of quests and dungeons in a short amount of time, in 1 year of development, we cannot make it realistic. That's impossible. So they decided to go for very cartoony graphics. But the problem with that is you don't utilize the beauty of virtual reality, which is when you can get the level of immersion where it feels really real to the player. You know? So we decided to flip that around. Let's just start with a small zone first, but make sure that the immersion level is high, like a lot of detail, and then over time keep that level of quality and detail, and then slowly expand it over time. And
yeah, because this feels like more real life than anything.
Awesome, man. I'm happy to hear that. That's the goal. That's absolutely the goal. The technology is there. We just need to build it, and that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
All right. Actually, I forgot something. You see that over there? That's a flashlight. So yeah, you can grab that one and that's pretty cool. Oh, I'm stuck here. Okay. Grab it and then click it on with your thumb on the touchpad.
Oh, I grabbed it with the wrong hand.
Yep.
Yep.
So here's what that's cool. That was not press A to turn on the flashlight. You know, it felt natural. Because where you think the real flashlight button would be is where the actual button of your controller is. So that's how we design stuff. Everything has to feel more natural and fluid. So nobody ever has to read a manual to play this game. You can just figure it out. It has to feel natural. All right, let's go to the next stage here. So in this last part, you know, I talked to you about the building blocks, like the Minecraft system. This is what we can show here. So this is our creator pylon. So let's say I somehow collected a bunch of items. Maybe I bought them from the marketplace. Maybe I bought them from another player. Maybe I crafted them with the resources, or maybe I went out and got the resources myself. So for example, let's say, and then I bought this plot of land here, and now I want to like customize it and make it my own. Have some trees in my collection.
Can you sell it? Like, say I created this world with this. Could I sell it, the plot, like my own land?
Yes. So what we can totally see is users buying an empty plot of land that is like bare, like this one here, then turn into a nice, cool little oasis that feels really cool, and then sell it to another player. So because if you're the owner of this land, the deed of the land you can use. You can go to a real estate auction house and put it on there and sell it to the highest bidder.
And so the person with the real estate, could that person be the realtor? Like, could I sell people plot of land and make money off?
Yes, that's one of the business opportunities would be like being a realtor, where you can. And here's the beautiful thing: to play the realtor game in this game, you don't even have to have virtual reality. You would be able to do it from the web portal, because the only thing you need to do is have a map and see what plots are available in what area. And if you say, hey man, that plot is available, I know this is a high traffic plot, so this is going to be high in demand, I'm going to snatch it and I'm going to put it in the marketplace. So these people don't even need virtual reality setups. They can just do it on a tablet at home. But the cool thing, even for them, it's a lot more fun than playing SimCity, because there are real people inside that world that you are just watching from your tablet, you know.
Yeah.
So let's say I want to grab this tree here. You just throw it, and now we have a tree. So yeah, so what we're trying to do here is, okay, a lot of our competitors, when you want to build a virtual reality world, they give you a 2D editor and a mouse and keyboard. But that's not fun. And so you need to learn a manual to know how to use the 2D editor. But if you're going that path, why don't just learn Unity or Unreal? It's way better anyway. Whoa.
Yeah, my bad. It's like really sensitive when I walk.
So what we're trying to do is create a system that is fun to use, that you can build your world while you're standing inside it, and you don't need to read a manual. It should be self-explanatory. So, for example, I told you about like the Minecraft approach. So the intelligence of the building blocks is already done. Like if you capture a rabbit and it's in your inventory, and then you can place it in your world, you drop it and the rabbit will come alive, like behind you. Just drop it there. So now, you don't need to program anything. It's there now. It's now part of your world. So if it doesn't find food, it's going to die. Same with the bird. If I throw a bird. Whoa!
How do you, for the food, is what you bring back with that little terminal?
Yes, but for example, you could have, maybe the rabbits eat a certain type of shrub. So if you make sure that you have that type of shrub that is placed in your level, then that shrub will periodically drop berries on the floor, and those berries will be food for the birds or for the rabbits.
Okay.
So things like that. Also, we can change the time of day. Let's say turn it to sunset. So the atmosphere changes as well, because different time of day is different insects that are active. Things like that. And props too, so remember the campfire we had, so we can place one here. You have some control about it too, like you have resizing tools. If you want a bigger one or if you want to move it around. So yeah, so this is what we're building. Pre-sale is going on right now, and a lot of more cool stuff is coming in the future.
Do you know when like the closed beta is going to be out, and like how do we able to sign up for it?
Yeah, so the beta signups they will go live in I believe 8 or 9 days, and then we will take like a couple of weeks of signups, and then after the signups we will announce who is in the first phase.
So the beta, is it like farther than this, or is it just like
it will be
just this area?
It will be different. The way it will work is, you remember the city in the beginning?
Yeah.
So in the city there is the test center that we're building, and inside the test center we will do a whole bunch of different tests, like test different locomotions ideas and test different vehicles and interactions. And so the beta people will be the test subjects for all of these tests.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so pretty much they will help us slowly build out all the different elements of this world.
And what's the plan of like getting out of like beta, like with date or months or something like that?
Oh man, we're going to be, like I said, this is a big project. It's required a lot of development. So we are aiming to have the open beta in 2019, and and that's probably going to last a year. So I'm optimistically I'm looking at 2020 for like the official full release.
Okay.
But that's for the virtual reality side of things. Like I said earlier, there will be a mobile component to this too, where people can participate in the economy without actually having a virtual reality setup, and that will be active later this year.
Okay.
All right. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll talk more about more upcoming stuff in the coming weeks.